Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another movie review, and I'm trying to be extremely quiet because Dad's asleep in the next room, but I tried to do this one earlier, but unfortunately it didn't process, so here we go again. I recently watched Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and actually I really like this version of it, even though there really is no connection to the actual short story. If you read it in high school like I did, and it was one of my favorite stories when I was in high school, I just thought it was very entertaining and imaginative, and the movie itself is actually based on reality versus fantasy, and it, in no uncertain terms, talks about how living in a realm of fantasy is really not so good for the human psyche. You have to actually go out and experience life, enjoy it, have an adventure. That's what living really is. If you're just sitting around on your laurels, you're existing, you're not really living. And I never thought of Ben Stiller as a contemplative man, but after having seen The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, I have to say that he really is a contemplative man, and he's very thought-provoking, and the film is also meant to be thought-provoking, and how he discusses relationships with other people, and what life truly is all about, and how we're connected as human beings. I really thought that Sean Penn did a splendid job. He was tremendous in his role as a photographer, and Walter, played by Stiller himself, was enamored of him, and Mr. Penn's character, Sean O'Connell, was Walter's idol, and he really was inspired by him, I think. And it's also a love story, and I really enjoyed the love story aspect of it, and it it parodied the Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which is another one of my favorite movies. Strangely enough, there's a part of that movie that takes place in a city that my friend's brother actually got to go to. But that's another story for another day. The cinematography in this movie was absolutely splendiferous. It was just awe-inspiring, and places that I had never even... Well, I know about Iceland, that there was a volcano I can't even pronounce it. I knew it existed. I had heard of it before. I thought, how did I even know that? That's just a very random thought, a very random fact. I mean, that's just trivial knowledge. No one else knows that unless they're in Iceland. So it was just a really exhilarating film, very inspiring, very uplifting. It was kind of sad in some spots when Walter was being bullied, and he wasn't assertive. He just zoned out, and I think Ben was trying to point out that this is really not the way that you deal with bullies, but in his case it seemed to work anyway, because it actually has this underdog story that I also really enjoy. The only thing I didn't really care for was the overt product placement. I just thought that everything was just shoved down your throat and it was in your face, and it just was awkward and uncomfortable. And my dad turned the topic over to me and he said, well, they have to pay for the movie somehow. And I thought, well, yeah, I know know, but do they have to really be so direct about it? Do they have to just wave it around in our face and say, buy our product, buy our product, buy our product, buy it now, or we will eat your soul. So it's just something I thought, oh, come on, seriously, do you really have to do that? That's so annoying. But that's my only real quibble with this particular film. Other than that, I thought the CGI was positively outstanding. It was fantastic. Especially that scene where he's watching the starlings in Iceland and it takes up the face of Cheryl, and I thought, oh, that's so cool. It was just so innovative and creative and just enchanting. It's a real jewel of a film that will make you think, and I like movies that make you think, even if they might not seem like the best movie in a long time. But I think this movie is extremely well directed, and the morals and values that are presented are some of them are subtle, but many of them are very obvious. Walter's character is extremely likable and very relatable, and I kind of like Walter myself, except I'm assertive and I'm a very imaginative person. I've been writing since I was 10 years old. Actually, I've been imagining things before then. I didn't really know how to type until I went into primary school, and then they taught us how to use typewriters and those clunky old computers with Tandy, Apple. I remember that, and the old floppy disk. I mean, really floppy disk that you could actually flop. Yeah, I'm old. What of it? I'm gonna get you, whippersnappers. But this movie is really quite wondrous, and it just leaves you with a sense of awe, and it's truly uplifting, and it just makes you want to go and live. And I can't really stress it that much more if you haven't seen it, and if you're a fan of Ben Stiller, then do so. I thought Kristen Wiig was really good too, even though I haven't really seen her in a lot of films. I really enjoyed her in this. I thought her character is very cute and just a good role model, and I really like how sweet she was and how vulnerable she was, and she wasn't afraid of revealing that side of her. And there's something very human about that, I thought, and I just felt that everything that was done was just really quite incredible, honestly. I give Secret Life of Walter Mitty 2 thumbs up, and actually 3.5. I'll give it a 3.5 because it, like I said, the product placement didn't really sit that well with me, but I do realize that making a movie is extremely expensive, and you have to pay for a movie somehow, as my father said. So, other projects. I have recently finished Yarnkent, which is on fictionpress.com. It's a sci-fi fantasy fable, and I'm going to draw my characters from that particular series fairly soon, so I'll post them up on YouTube once, or not YouTube, I'll post them up on Facebook once they're completed. I will be writing a few other things. I have an idea for script I'm going to be writing in the near future. I've got some parodies I'm going to be posting, and including Willow's theme with words, which I've been working on for quite some time. The first time I did a theme with words was Indiana Jones, which was my best theme with orchestral theme with words that I had ever done. I'd never attempted anything like that before, but that one was easy. That one was simple. Willow was a little bit more complicated, and it just the theme itself. Actually, that part's not hard, but then it goes into a more lyrical, less martial kind of score, and it's a different kind of mood. So hopefully I can do that very well. And I'm doing a parody of excuse me, Bad Blood by Bastille. It's going to be a skater's anthem. I've got parody of Most People, which I intend to do fairly soon. I'm busy. I have some songs I have written down in my journal, but I haven't had a lot of time to really do anything because my hours are so freakishly bizarre that it doesn't really make that much sense. But maybe I'm moving up in the world. I hope so. It's basically all I have to say for now, and until I see you again, which will probably be sometime tomorrow after I see Maleficent, I shall say good night for now. Live long and prosper. Ciao, tutti.